Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Carsten. Carsten is a teacher and is from Hamburg in Germany. Let's see what Carsten has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you? How are you, Carsten?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Great.
Situation, but good. Yeah.
So, you are based in Germany?
Yes, I'm based in Kiel. I've moved to Kiel. I've moved to Hamburg in 2001, but my parents still live here, and this was planned as my weekly visit in Kiel because my parents are old. So, and when you asked me about Thursday, I said, okay, I just have to join go for the Wi-Fi here, and so that's the weird surrounding is my father's den, if you like.
That's amazing. So you live in Hamburg?
I live in Hamburg, yes, with my husband. Yeah.
I've been there twice.
Oh, good. When?
Yes. It was last year, actually. It was last year. I love the city. My God, it was so amazing. I went summertime, like I think it was June, and after I went in September again, I think. So beautiful city, beautiful city. Good memories over there.
Good.
I was in Gran Canaria 2 years ago, and I met a lovely German guy from Hamburg, and they were in a group of friends.
Okay.
So I went to visit all of them over there. It was amazing, and I hope to go back sometime soon.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I will. And
you live in London, but you're not a Londoner or British person.
No, I don't have the British accent. I'm from Brazil. I lived in Portugal for a few years before I moved to the UK, and I've been in London for the last 14 years already. Yeah, London's home now.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. And what do you do for a living, Carsten?
I'm a teacher.
Amazing. And
German and English.
Oh wow! But do you teach like in a school or high school? Or?
Yeah. Well, what we call gymnasium, which is not to be mixed up with gymnasium, but it's a bit like a comprehensive school, if you like. We serve students from year 5 to 12, which means that they are sort of 10, 11 when they come to us and leave school at about 17, 18.
That's amazing. Tell me the most interesting thing about your job.
Every day is different. So I really enjoy that. I like working with students, and really, I mean, it's nothing like working in an office or so. Every day has new challenges, and I really like my job. It's really my dream job.
That's amazing. Oh wow, that's cool. Very good. Actually, I'll tell you something now. When I was a child, I always wanted to go to school. It was my dream. I remember because I had two cousins. They were older than me, like 2 years, 3 years older. And I remember when they were going to school. For me, I couldn't go because I was too young, and I was crying every day. I was crying every year. And one year before I started school, my grandmother, she asked the teacher, and if I could go at least the first day with my cousin. She was older, and I have a picture. My mom have a picture like my cousin sit down, and I'm by her side, like so happy and everything. And my cousin, she was like this because she hated. She didn't like me to be around her the first day of school, and I was there like my eyes was shining around with the teacher because I wanted so badly to go to school. And I always loved learning, and
I was just going to say, when you went to school finally, did you enjoy it still, or? Yeah?
I still remember my first day at school was not the happiest day of my life. I remember holding hands with my colleagues going to school. My first teacher, she was the most amazed. I still remember her. Like for me, she was like an idol, like a biggest idol, because it was my dream to go to school. And I remember I have flashes of her. And for me, she was actually fun enough. Because she was pregnant when I started school. And when middle, like half term, she needs to leave because she needs to get a baby. My mom was so worried that I would lose interest and I would get upset because I was so close. For me, she was my idol. I was close to her. And but actually I was okay. I was sad. I don't remember like the transition, but I remember that the new teacher who came after her, Marcia, her name, I remember she was lovely as well, and I connected with her as well, so it wasn't an issue. But yeah, school for me, going to school was like a dream, and It's always been. I think it's because I'm still a child, maybe.
Okay. But to become a teacher was never your dream.
No, actually, very good question. Actually, I don't think it was my dream, but I could be a teacher easily because I have connection with children. So for some reason, children. I don't know. As I said, that's my friends. They think that I'm the childish, like for the whole. Because I've always been very, childish anyway. But for some reason, children they connect with me. For example, when I in the street, sometime the other day I was running. The other day, like in the park, I was doing some jogging, and this child, this was like a little child, like 2 or 3 years old. I was just running, and he literally came my direction. And his dad was looking like this. Why he's going in my direction? And I was like, hi, and he just passed by. So I have this connection. For some reason, I think it's when you're approachable. I think even because children, they are so genuine, they are so like innocent, or they spot it, they spot that. And so yeah, I could be a teacher, but yeah, I think if I but it wasn't like my thing. But if I need to be, or for some reason, I think I could. Actually, I've been a teacher before. Actually, when I was before I left Brazil, I was teaching English in a first kids school, like twice a week, like part-time. So yeah, I could say I was a teacher, but I've been a teacher in the past. You see, it just made me going back to my memory now.
Me, I was born into sort of a family of teachers. My mother was a teacher. My grandfather was the head of a whole school, of a village school.
Right.
And 2 of my aunts were teachers, so I was pretty familiar with the idea of teaching and going to school. And that's why, my parents tell me that I've been, since I was young, I was saying, okay, I'll become a teacher one day. And
great.
I went to Britain 1 year. During my studies at university, I went to Bath to stay here in Bath. And I worked as an assistant.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, beautiful, absolutely. Yeah. And I was working as a foreign language assistant. So I worked at a proper school, but only had a few lessons with few pupils. But that was really sort of the final kick that showed me, okay, that's my job.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Am I saying your name right, Carsten?
Carsten, yeah.
Carsten.
Yeah.
Okay, Carsten. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. The box full of random fun questions. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a song just for us to get in the mood a little bit before we start the first question. Okay, and let's do it. Right, let's go for the first question, Carsten. Let's go. Do you have any nicknames?
No current ones. When I was a teenage boy, I was called Kuddel all the time, which actually was basically because there was one boy in my class that was called Carsten, and when I came into this class, he was leaving. So the classmates just thought, okay, now there's another Carsten, we might as well use the same nickname. Because Kuddel has sort of the associations of someone from the sea. There's a captain, there's a comic figure in Germany, Captain Kuddel, and I never thought that I would sort of identify with that character, but I quite like the name because it's a bit like to cuddle in English, so it has this feeling, but since university, I think nobody has called me that.
Amazing. I'll tell you something now, personal as well. My name is William, and since my first day when I was born, because I was the first male grandson, was born from both of my family. Imagine the responsibility. And so everyone wants to name me, everyone want to give my name, blah. Anyway, so my aunt, she came to visit me when my mom gave birth. So she came to the hospital to visit me, and she just called me Duli. And from that day, from my first day, everyone in my family, my mom, everyone calls me Duli. And even the city I was born, because I moved when I was 13, I moved to another city. But that city, if they ask about William, no one knows. But if I said Duli, everyone knows. Everyone, my parents, everyone calls me Duli. So yeah, and this is my nickname. But nowadays, people call me Will, Willie, Will.I.am, all this deal as well.
You've got that kind of name. Carsten is not really made to make a nickname out of it somehow. Because the we shorten lots of names with an I at the end, but Carsten doesn't work in German, so I'm okay with Carsten.
Great, great. Let's go for another one. I think your dad's coming now. I can see your dad.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello. That's okay. That's okay. I can say hello. Hello. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, that's so cute. He made my day now. Oh, let's get another question. Let's do it. Cool. Who makes you laugh the most?
My husband.
Tell me why.
Well, we've been together for 17 years now, and we've been married for 7 years. And humor is a huge part of, in general, what I like about people, if we laugh about the same things, and people make me laugh and I make them laugh. And so with my husband and I, that works perfectly on this humorous level as well. And we have our, those sort of internal jokes that couples have quite often. And that's something, it just clicks automatically when we have, we see the same things and then react similarly and can laugh about it or share the experience. So, yeah. Oh,
that's cute. That's sweet. Right, Carsten, let's get another question. Let's do it. Dancing. And this music makes me like dance for the whole day. Right, what would your theme song be if you had your own show?
Well, to start with, it would be an English song, I suppose, because I'm very...
Okay.
In terms of music, I'm very close to the English language. I hardly listen to German music. I hardly listen to music in any other language, sometimes French, sometimes Swedish, whatever is. I'm quite a pop music guy, so whatever is in the chart. But usually it's English music. It will be probably sort of mid-tempo. As a sort of compromise between, I like ballads a lot, but I like dance music as well. So sort of it probably will end up in the middle somewhere with a melodic tune, that you can sing along with easily. I'm very much into sort of catchy rhythms and choruses. So, and something with a musical touch, because I'm quite a fan of musicals. So
amazing. Okay, cool. Right, let's go for another one, Carsten. Let's do it. Just before the next question, tell me, how did you meet your husband?
We met at a birthday party of a mutual friend, so the classic one, although it wasn't intended to be. So it was a bigger party with, 20, 25 guests. And well, actually, I had heard that he would be coming and that he was single at the time, so that wasn't right. But there was nothing else was implied, if you like. And he was only my second boyfriend, so I was, although I was 30 something at that time, I was curious to meet him, and at that time he was working as an amateur actor, which I found very fascinating. I still do. He's not acting anymore, but he used to for a couple of years. And so I asked him actually my first sentence was, "And you are the actor." And that's sort of one of those jokes I sometimes have, "You are the actor." So although he's making money with another job, but acting is a hobby of his. So but that's how we met. And then we sort of exchanged. That was in the days when internet was I had only internet access in an internet cafe, so I didn't have internet at home. So I went to cafes and internet cafes, and we exchanged emails for some time, and then we met again, and then we kissed. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. You should invite him for a shoot with me as well on the show.
Yes.
I'm sure he might enjoy. Right. Tell me, what's the first thing usually do you think about when you wake up?
Usually, I must admit, I'm thinking of school and the lessons ahead of me or something. That's usually my first thoughts. Right now, I'm enjoying a sabbatical year. That's basically the reason why I'm sitting here right now and not being at school, because for 1 year, I'm off school.
Okay.
And, I'm just enjoying a good time without work, which is nice for a change after 27 years of teaching.
Sure, absolutely.
And so my first thoughts these days is rather what funny, nice, entertaining things I'm doing today. So
that's a great, and I hope today will be a good day because we are doing this interview. So
yeah, actually, I wouldn't say it was my first thought this morning. First thought, oh, that would be curious. I'm curious to see what this William guy is like. Yes.
Great. I'm very glad. I hope you are enjoying. Great.
Yeah.
Right, let's go for another question. Okay. Let's do it. Right, just before the next question, tell me the best and the worst of living in Hamburg.
The best is I like the two main rivers here, the Elbe and the Alster, which they aren't oceans, which I would prefer, but they're nice rivers. You can, take long walks along the rivers, and you can take a boat if you like, or ferries, or just being. And then there's a huge harbor we have, and I like this atmosphere very, very much.
Beautiful.
So it's something every city must have some sort of water, whether it's along the ocean or at least must have a lake or something. Otherwise, it doesn't count for me somehow. So I think that's one of the my favorite places in Hamburg. And worst, as a cliche, I would say the weather, because it's, well, I wouldn't say it's rainy too often. And actually, thanks to climate change, it's getting warmer even in Hamburg. When I look at I see the temperatures in Munich or somewhere down south in Germany, then I sometimes envy them for a milder climate. But there's nothing horribly wrong with Hamburg, really.
Okay, cool. Next question. Let's do it. What is your most embarrassing moment?
What in my life?
Yes.
There are so many. I'm rather thinking, what was the last time only yesterday. Well, it wasn't really most embarrassing, but I was sitting on a bus and listening to a podcast and just sort of dreaming away. And it took me some time till I heard the bus driver saying that whether I was deaf or something, because everyone had left the bus because there was some blockage of the street or something. And he actually came to me saying, "Would you please leave?" And I just had totally lost contact with reality. Didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. So, and he was a bit mad at me, which I thought was a bit exaggerated. But okay, right. So it was the freshest memory of being embarrassed a little bit. There must have been quite worse experiences, but I tried to sort of, push them aside a bit. So
of course,
maybe during our conversation, something pops up in my mind.
I'm sure. Right, let's go for another question. Let's do it. Right, if you could go back in time, in one moment in memory in your life, what that would be and why?
Well, first of all, I think I'm enjoying myself at the age I am, but the year I spent in Britain, in Bath, was actually, apart from my my happy marriage, it was the best year of my life, because I was getting independent. I was 21. I had left my parents' house, and for the first time I was on my own for a whole year. And I loved the city, Bath. I met wonderful people, a Spanish couple and a Swiss guy and a French girl. So we had we formed a nice clique of friends, and it was so amazing for me to experience that on my own with nobody I knew beforehand, and gave me so much courage actually, and feeling that I can sort of, make it on my own. And besides, the teaching was my first teaching experience. So that sort of confirmed my wish to become a teacher. So everything was it was really a perfect year, 1987, 88, so quite a long time ago. And if you ask me such a question, I would sort of immediately go back to that wonderful year.
That's amazing. And today, actually, just let me remember now, but today, I've got a few people after you, but I think the last one is one teacher in America as well. Today's a Teacher's Day. That's your lifestyle.
And actually, one of my friends in Britain is still one of the students at that time. So I was her student, her teacher when she was in, I think, upper six, lower six or something, learning German. And she came to our wedding, and she's still a good friend of mine. So she lives in Bath still. So
that's amazing.
Touch.
I never been Bath. I meant to go actually during this lockdown. We meant to go to Bath for a day, but it haven't happened yet. But it's one of my top lists to go to Bath because I know it's beautiful. I know it's beautiful over there.
It's a touristy place, but I never felt as a tourist there because I was living there for a year. So
of course. Great. Let's get another question. Let's go. Next question. What is one thing you can live without?
I can't live without, cannot?
Yeah, you cannot.
Music, I think.
I
know I'm not dancing along with you in the breaks, but I listen to music a lot, almost. Well, if I'm not listening to podcasts or I'm talking to people, listening to music. And my husband actually composes music, so we have music at home. And it's I think to imagine a life without music, apart from other things, of course, but my husband, for example, but music is probably one thing, yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think I'm exactly the same. Like music, it just moves me. I cannot. If I go to work, I have all the time my music on, and as soon as I put it on, some music, my God, it's just I cannot live without music as well.
Yeah.
I can't. Anyway, let's go for another question. Let's do it. Next question. Let's do it. What do you think people need to know about each other before they get married? It's a good one.
Well, definitely a glimpse at the bad sides is probably quite helpful there. To get the vices and the weaknesses, at least a little bit of them. Otherwise, I think, as I said, humor, to laugh, be able to laugh about the same things. And I don't quite believe in the saying opposites attract. I think obviously, and even my husband and I are not the same by far. We are similar in some things, but quite different in other things, which is good. I think it's sort of a mixture of, having the same interests but different interests as well. That's important to have for me. Otherwise, it's either it gets boring or gets too different to relate to. If he was a completely different character, then I would find it hard, I think. So something in between, I think.
Great, good answer. Let's go for another one. Let's do it. Right, next question. Share with us a crazy history that happened to you when you were at school. Good one.
Well, it was always a very how do you say that? A student that obeyed the rules and did everything the teacher told you. Not really a rebel at all. And for a reason I don't quite remember, but at one break, I must have been something like 14, 15. During the break, I stayed in and I climbed out of the window, sort of at one of those sort of levels on the outer front of the building, which was pretty dangerous because if I had fallen, I would have definitely hurt myself quite a lot. It was second floor, I think, or something. And I don't know whether it's sort of a test of courage or something why I did it, but a teacher saw me from the schoolyard and he came running up to the classroom shouting at me, and then of course I went back inside, and I remember him saying that I was always such a nice student. How could I ever thought of that as similar? That's one memory I have, apart from all the good ones. Yeah.
I'll tell you something that you made me remember now. As I told you, I love school. I love the whole thing about school. And I remember once, I think I was 7 years old. I don't remember, but around this age. And our teacher, she gave us like a questionnaire with like random questions about yourself, about, like, you know, about your family, things in like very, very basic. And there was a question like, what would you like to be when you grow up? Yeah. So, do you know what I wrote? Michael Jackson. So I gave it to her, and next day, so she collects all the questionnaire. Next day, she came to me and said, William, come here. I said, well, do you understand this question? I said, yes. She said, read to me. I said, what would you like to be when you grow up? And she said, do you understand? I said, that's it. So why did you put Michael Jackson? I said, because I want to be Michael Jackson. And she said, but Michael Jackson is not a profession. But I told her, I know, but I want to be Michael Jackson. And I remember she explained to me the whole thing. And I think I'm not sure if I told my mom or if she told my mom to explain to me. I don't remember. I remember I'm talking to my mom at home. And my mom was trying to explain to me, like, Michael Jackson is not a profession. You can be a dancer, a this and that, or an actor. And I said, no, I want to be Michael Jackson. So I remember she couldn't take this out of my head. That time, they couldn't. And I was like, no, Michael Jackson. I remember this situation.
Can I say one more memory I have is, but that was in primary school. We were all asked, what did you do at the weekend? And we had visited my grandparents in a tiny little village called Görnitz, and my teacher said, oh, you don't mean Görnitz, you mean Grömitz, which is a sort of bigger city. Right. And I said, no, it's Görnitz. And she wouldn't believe me. She would always sort of correct me, because of course nobody knew that place. But that's something, a memory I have, that as a teacher, I think I will never doubt the statements of students, because maybe I'm just too stupid to believe what he was saying, but he will be or she will be right, and there will be a reason for it. So that's something that is sort of stuck in my mind, I think, for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's I totally agree. Sometimes as you said, you need to listen to them, explain, as the teacher was explaining me, that wasn't that, but she wouldn't change my mind, because for me, I was sure that I want to be, of course, at one point I would understand and everything, but because also I was stubborn about it, said no, so yeah. Right, let's go for another one. Let's do it. Right now, before the next question, I need to tell you something else as well. Another thing came to my mind. I wrote the same thing as well, the same kind of questionnaire we had. I don't think it was the same time, but it was another situation. There was a question like, write down the name of your mom and the name of your dad. My mom, her name is Wilma, and my dad, his name is Wilson. So it's not very Portuguese name, it's a very English American name. So there was a question, and I wrote my mom, I put Maria. And my dad, I wrote João. João is a very Portuguese name, like very popular. Okay, so I give away again. My teacher said, William, come here. Did you understand this question? I said, yes. He said to me, so why did you put Maria for your mom's name and João for your dad's name? And I said, do you know what? I remember that it's because for me, I didn't know how to write their names. Can you imagine how sweet, how cute? Because W for me, it was very confusing at the time. I couldn't cut the sounds, doesn't mean, Wilma. And even my name, William, took me a while to kind of course, not why, but for me, I remember the sound of W wasn't very difficult for me. So I didn't want to write like something very stupid, just put João Maria because it was very easy.
Because you knew how to spell them.
Yes, I knew
how to spell them all.
Yeah, because W, like Wilma with W and Wilson was for me was like something like, how could I never write that? She was, oh my God, really. Next time just come to me and we can do it together. But in China sometimes you don't get this. Right, let's get another question. What scares you the most about your future?
I noticed that during Corona time that I'm not really the scary type. I'm not afraid of the disease as well, for example. In general, what I'm scared of is wars. Wars wherever they take place, in different parts of the world. But especially as a teenager, I was quite afraid of a world war taking place in Europe or somewhere, which is, well, depending on the news these days, sometimes it's it's a thought that I'm having again. But generally, I'm pretty, well, I wouldn't say fearless, but it goes into that direction. It's not that I worry too much about the future. And
Okay.
I mean, job-wise, I'm as boring as it is, I'm very much settled as a civil servant. So I will work till I'm 67, very likely. And so in general, I'm okay with not too many fears.
Okay, great, good answer. Right, I've got 3 questions left for you. Okay. Let's do it. Next question. What does success mean to you?
But I would say it's a success if students learn something that I'm trying to teach them, of course, and not so much in terms of exams or something that, well, I mean that's what school management looks like or looks for. To me, is rather if I notice that students get bored in my lesson, I think sort of I failed. I'm trying. I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but I'm trying to make students laugh at least once in my lesson. So if that's a success to me, if I feel that they are, school with Mr. Bruhn is not so bad. That's sort of one thing that I would count as a success for me, job-wise. And sort of in my private life, I'm taking photos a lot. And I mean, you met me on Instagram in a way, so. And I will never become a professional photographer, but I'm doing as a hobby, and I'm following my own photographic projects. And if people like my photos, that's some sort of success as well. Although I don't like the word so much, but that's the kind of direction I'm going, I think. Yeah.
Amazing, that's cool. Do you take particularly just one thing of photography, like one, just like there's one kind of?
No, not really. I like to sort of architecture is one thing that I like to take photos of, but also portrait. I'm very much into portrait photography and street photography. So those are the sort of the 3 kinds of photography that I'm practicing and getting better at, and also like to watch as a photo observer, if you like.
Amazing, cool. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Right, another question. What do you miss the most of your childhood and why?
What I miss?
The most about your childhood?
I think being sort of carefree. I mean, even if I said I'm a fearless person, it's still something different from being a child and not worry about a thing in a way. I think I wouldn't say the perfect childhood, but a very, very good and very, I was being loved by my parents, and I've got this, how do you say that in English? Sort of this trust in people and trust in the things that things will turn out good. And so that's something I think I gained from my childhood, that I felt loved, and my brother was there, my friends were there, my parents were there. And I mean, as a teacher, I hear so many stories of students that have not so fortunate childhoods for whatever reason, separated parents or something. And I feel very blessed, to be honest, that I had this kind of childhood. And that's this feeling, I can't say I miss it, because I still have it in me, if you like. But that's what I think that's the result of a very good childhood, actually. Yeah.
That's good.
And it's good now I can give something back to my parents now that they are old, and as I said, I visit them regularly, and that's a good feeling to be grateful and tell them that as well, because as a child you don't really tell your parents how grateful and happy you are. So
sure. Right, I've got the last question for you now. Let's do it. Last question. Where do you see yourself living when you retire?
Definitely in a big city. I'm a very urban kind of guy, so countryside is not for me. So I always say within Germany, Hamburg or Berlin are the two cities I can only imagine living. Although I prefer to live in Hamburg, I like to visit Berlin, and I do quite often, but to live, Hamburg is better for living, I think. So if I stay in Germany, actually as boring as it might sound, it might be Hamburg for the rest of my life. And if someplace else, cities like London, New York, I mean those really big cities, if I can afford to live there and health-wise I'm okay, I'd end up in those cities, I think. Yeah, it's just something, the older I get, the more I need life around me, and I like the possibilities you have in a city, because I enjoy culture a lot, so theater, cinemas, etc., etc. So I need a big city around me. Yeah.
Amazing. Right. It's not the end yet. Okay, what am I going to do now? I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one thing, the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking. Right, let's start with love.
Heart.
Money.
Necessary.
Family.
Love.
Sex.
Necessary.
Life.
Needs to be lived.
Politics.
Dreadful.
Religion.
Not for me.
Fear.
Needs to be confronted.
Friendship.
Absolutely important.
Desire.
Desire?
Yeah.
Great feeling.
Regrets.
Not too many.
Wish.
Always have wishes.
Amazing. Now I'm gonna make it up. How about school?
Is it vocation, the place where I belong and where I want to be? Yeah.
Amazing. And the last one, photography.
Great hobby, best way of expressing myself artistically.
Amazing. Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to have coffee with your husband, and I'm going to ask your husband, tell me the most beautiful thing about Carsten, and tell me something that he needs to improve on. What do you think he'll tell me?
I think he would say he makes me laugh. So that's the first thing that comes into his mind, I suppose. He can improve on, sometimes patience, especially with things. Sometimes he says I'm behaving like a stubborn student, that things that don't interest me that much, I sometimes don't really want to learn. Speaking of computer skills, for example, it's not my virtue. So if he tries to explain something to me, I'm sort of, I'm blocking it. You just do it for me. I will not be able to do it anyway. So that's what he really dislikes about me. And to drive on my, to go on my bicycle faster, because he's a really fast rider, and he says I'm too slow, which I totally disagree with, but that's
right. So now let's play now, Katja and the bicycle box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Right, you can ask me a question now.
To be honest, I stole this question from a podcast of mine, where they end their podcast with the question: imagine you are allowed to present a huge poster on Piccadilly Circus, and you are responsible for the contents of the poster. What would you write on it for everyone to see?
My God, that's an amazing question. I love it. I might post that on my on my show now. That's amazing. Oh, you're gonna make me think now. Right, I know what I would say. I would say, be approachable for whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you see. It's just be approachable and accept it. Oh, sorry, no, respect it. You don't need to accept, but you need to respect it. I think that would be the biggest thing. Okay. My God, you made me think now. I love the question. I love it. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Carsten, just before we go, I just want to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for trusting me and for being part of this project right now.
It's been a really interesting experience. As I said, I didn't really know what to expect, and I watched 1 or 2 videos on your website, but not very much actually. It was only yesterday night or the day before. I don't know when we agreed on that.
Yeah.
So, and because of my sabbatical, I'm so relaxed, and and one thing that I had planned for my sabbatical is to be open, as you were saying, to be approachable, to be open for all sort of new experiences. And when you asked me, I think usually I would have said, no, who are you? What do you want from me or something? And
I see.
This time I just felt, yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm doing it, of course. And because I'm doing my own photography project and asking people to, to be my models. So I know the feeling of, being in a way sort of dependent on people to go along with it and to do something for you, if you like. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
And before you go, just a positive message, a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I think it's actually here and now is what counts.
Great.
Don't wait for something in the far future, but it's the moment that counts. Yeah.
Yes, believe in now, do it now, and just live now, isn't it? It's just everything's about now, not the past, if it is now. I love it. I love it. Right. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, and well, yeah, very much luck with your project.
Thank you very much.
I'm curious to see where this is going.
Sure.
Okay. Right.
And when I come to Hamburg, I'll give a shout for a coffee. You can go.
Please do. Absolutely.
I will.
Yes.
I will for sure.
Okay. Brilliant. Take care. Nice to meet you.
You
bye
too.
Bye.
Bye bye to your dad. Your dad.
I will. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Did you have a nice time? Enjoy the interview? William and the Magic Box. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, William and the Magic Box. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, just visit our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com. Give a like, share the video, and see you tomorrow with another lovely interview. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.